Hello, podcast world, and welcome once again to the official Website Depot podcast. Yoast me, don't roast me. Today we got a little bit of a different type of format here that we're going to offer all of our listeners. We have a special one-on-one interview with my co-host Greg Benevent, who is going to be doing a special one-on-one with the CEO and digital marketing guru Danny Starr. So, Greg, how's it going today?
Hey, Zeke. It's been great. It's genuinely glad to be here.
Great.
It's I don't know when you're watching this, but here it's April 22nd. It's a Wednesday. It's been another good day here at Website Depot. It's on Wednesdays. I don't know how many of you know this, but it's our special workshop days, which is a day where the company either we all folk. It's sort of where we come together as one. Either we all work for a client or we all work on something specifically inside the company. It kind of breaks the week up, and it also always gives us something that we can like build on from within the company itself. So it's been a real good day here. Looking forward to capping it off with this interview. Like Zeke told you, this is something we're going to be offering all of our clients. It's one more way to get out there and a way to do it on your terms, connect the way you want with your humanity. So that's
Yeah.
all lovely. But yeah, how are you doing there, Zeke?
Doing good, doing good. As you know, we did we participated in some similar type of stuff of like a content creation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing here at Website Depot is we dedicate one day, and I find that you really do get a lot done in terms of productivity when
Mm-hmm.
all the minds come together just for one thing, whether it be a client, whether it be sharing a bunch of social posts for clients, or if it's doing something for like, self marketing, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, those days could be really productive. I mean, what did your day consist of, Greg?
Well, that's just it. A day like this consists of multiple, so many different kinds of things. Like my day is plenty of writing. And then, of course, it's also like, okay, hunt down this icon. Okay, work with someone else to build up this page. Like these days, like this, it's you get to see what everyone can do together. But I mean, at least for me personally, I also find it's a way to like, here's things I can do and in a productive way that I didn't necessarily know beforehand that I could do. So there's something about kind of pushing yourself on a day like this to, kind of expand your own comfort zone to see other new ways that you can contribute. At least
Yeah,
that's the way
that's
it's
really
been
good.
for
Yeah,
me.
I agree because it's like it gets the creative juices going a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like say Monday, it's kind of like you're just doing like some catching up. You're picking
Yes.
up on projects. You're doing certain tasks. You're playing catch up and stuff. But today's the day where you kind of like put out your own ideas and then
Mm-hmm.
kind of see what sticks. And somebody like me or some of my teammates aren't like web coders or anything, but like we'll put something on a page, and as long as the idea is there and clear, we got some talented people, some web coders that can turn it into something real. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the next step in that.
I
Yeah,
think
it's been
that's such
cool.
an important. Oh, I'm sorry. And I just think that's such an
But,
important part of this process. And you mentioned it is that it's very much about like, okay, this isn't perfect, but we're doing it.
mhm.
Like we're getting
Right,
it
right.
done. So then that so that way when it goes to someone in a department that hey maybe understands it better or has more of an ability for that, they can build it up into something great. Like, and I think that's really one of the real benefits of a day like this. Really, it's I mean, the companies I work for before Website Depot, I kind of wish we'd done something like this there. That would have made more sense. It's really something a lot of businesses could use.
Yeah, I agree with you, Greg. And one thing that I'm particularly impressed about with this team and Website Depot is the way we're able to come together remotely and
Right.
collaborate remotely. Given the situation that we're all, stuck in our own place amid the coronavirus, as we're
Mm-hmm.
still quarantined, shelter, stay at home, safer at home, as Garcetti says. But
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I mean, we get a lot done. I think as long as we communicate pretty well. But that's the prompt. Danny, who is our special one-on-one guest here. He's kind of like the glue that holds it together,
Oh yeah.
rounds the whole team up, and kind of just gets us pumped up before we set off and go and do these things.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, there's a few other things. Like, say, before we get to the interview here, there's like just a few things that are kind of like big happening in the
Mhm.
digital marketing world. Is if you
Yeah.
heard what Google's doing today, did you hear about that news, Greg?
I heard a little bit in passing, but if you could clarify more about it, that'd be great.
I'm sure plenty is written about it as of right now. I'll head over on my screen really quick so you
Hmm.
could see it because I know we're sharing
Please.
screens here,
We are.
um, or we're about to. So, anyways, Google Shopping. Yeah, right here. Search engine roundtable, market realists. So Google Shopping is turning into like some automated free platform where people don't have to pay per the click anymore. At least that's what they're going to be rolling out and experimenting with,
Oh,
which is
wow.
pretty big. I hear it's kind of their way of counteracting Amazon, who's
Okay.
really been going big. Because I mean,
Yes.
they're in groceries. I mean, Whole Foods, and then I think Bezos grew his net worth by I don't know how many billion since this pandemic has started.
Oh, I've
But the big
contributed
news
more than my
today,
share. Yeah.
yeah, and it was a really good piece that we had shared. But here it is. Frugal is back for real this time.
Mm.
So there's quite a few. The Search Engine Journal is a really good one that I like. Actually, this is the one about Bezos.
Okay.
This was on the TechCrunch.
Hmm.
Um, So yeah, I mean, here it is. I mean, they announced the move in a blog post, the Google blog post. It's
Hmm.
pretty widely followed by journalists everywhere. So this became a big thing.
Hmm.
So the results on the shopping tab will be, free listings for people that are hurting with, their e-commerce offerings and stuff.
Wow.
So I think that's something we got to jump on in terms of like our clients. And also
Hmm.
we sell some swag. We sell some books,
We do.
some digital content too.
Hmm.
So let's see what we can do as getting on here. But look, so and I'm quoting here, Search Engine Journal is so far, and this is with the coronavirus pandemic growing, Jeff
Hmm.
Bezos has been the most notable winner, adding a reported $24 billion dollars to his personal wealth since this shutdown began.
That's bananas. That really is.
$24 billion just as personal wealth, just personal. We're not talking
Jeez.
market capital
Jeez.
for Amazon. But anyways, like,
Hmm.
but like Google ad spend's been going down. People are kind of leaving. So I think this is a
Okay.
way for more people to participate in it and see, like, I mean, they'll kind of get driven into some of Google's side products, I'm sure, here and there. But
I would imagine.
it's a way to get people in. It's definitely causing a stir in our industry right now, which is
I mean, I'll
a
check it out
big
personally. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but that really caught my eye here. It's just Google really had to do something,
Hmm.
and this is what they're deciding to do. As you know, like for those that didn't know, AdWords, which is now called Google Ads, has always been the bread and butter, the main revenue driver of Google. Not so much like say Maps or satellite launches and stuff, but it's
Okay.
actually advertising here. So um,
Uh, hmm.
just some regular knowledge for kind of
No.
like industry outsiders or so. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
without further ado, though, we got the special guest here.
Oh, we
I think
reached
we
the
did a
main
proper
event.
intro. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's time for the
Uh-huh.
main event of the evening here. It's
There
just
we go.
after a long work day, a big workshop. We have
Mhm.
very special guests here, so I'll let you take it from here, Mr. Greg,
Well, thank you
our
very much,
interviewer
Zeke.
of honor today.
Well, thank you. Yes, I won the contest. It's my chance here,
Good.
gang. Very glad to be here, and I'm very glad to bring your next speaker, the interviewer today, the founder of Website Depot, really sort of the foundation of Website Depot as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very glad to bring you Danny Starr. Danny, you there?
Yes, I'm here, Greg. Thank you very much. Appreciate. How are you guys doing, Greg? How's everything?
Uh,
Nice.
Hanging in. I mean, it's doing as best can be expected. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Appreciate. I hope you guys can see me. I'm here.
There you are.
We could
Doing
see you.
well. I'm very excited. Today was one of the most productive days of the history of the Website Depot. Believe it or not, Greg, but what you have seen today the results at a jury at the Iron Chef competition, what you've been seeing at and looking at, that's phenomenal. That shows you capacity or agency. That shows you what is doable within 90 to 120 minutes, right? You've been impressed. I've been impressed myself. I mean, I'm really thankful for everyone to be in this team, and finally we came up with a plan how we can basically connect together, right, and
Certainly.
produce something, uh, as far as it's still not the tangible goods, but is seeable, right, publicly accessible, or however you want to call it, good, right? So that's very important. Thank you. And you guys are creating this podcast. It's also part of this, workshops, right? That's going to be added, to Zeke. Where is this podcast available right now?
Well, that's something me and the team kind of worked on today to highlight at least. We're very easily searchable just by looking up the Website Depot podcast or Yoast Me Don't Roast Me, what we have it titled. But also we took it a step further here is we added it to the menu of our website. So it's listen to the official podcast. And then also we touched it up. So, for those that don't have the, earphone or radio friendly experience like on the browser, we also have links to places where we're also published, which is the Google Podcast platform, which is both an app and a browse on the browser. We're also on Spotify. We're on Radio Public and Anchor FM. Also, iTunes. iTunes, if you have the application, you can look us up and you can find us there. But if you want to see like the whole list of wherever your favorite place is where you could add it and subscribe, check out Website Depot // podcast. You'll find it there, or you could also find it on our menu in our website.
Thank you, Zeke. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Danny.
And Greg, today you're the host for interviewing the latest insights from my end.
Yes.
This is something that you will be interviewing a lot of Website Depot clients, right? With help of Ezekiel or yourself, or how we're going to go about it. So that's going to really bring additional value to our packages, right?
Certainly.
So we're going to be able to produce this with the same resources we have. Just imagine that's like unbelievable in the construction business, or in like a production business. It's very hard to tell the actress, you know what, you're getting too old, you can't be acting right now, just because of that. You need to go behind the camera. Now you're going to be the cameraman.
Okay.
It's just like thinking so many different things, and I love that and I appreciate that. So Greg, let me give you the mic back to you, and let's roll with this interview.
Sure. Okay. Well, my first question was, I know that you're currently offering a free copy of your new book, as well as a consultation with that. So speaking of the book, what exactly can people get out of the book?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The book itself, you were part of the book team as well, right? The book was
Yes.
created, not just by myself, not to be only getting the credits, was all of us, putting in 2 cents. You proofread it a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
You read it, you recorded on Audible and iTunes, which
Mm-hmm.
is amazing, so the book is accessible everywhere. We at a company, we have just decided that that's a very good content. It was Alejandro's idea to just give that content right now in these pandemics for free. Right, people have too much time. Let them digest something useful. And book itself talks about a small business owner's role in a digital marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, everybody's like, they hear one thing, hey, what do you do, Mike, or what do you do, John, and how do you do it, Anthony? And then they just say, hey, I do the SEO, hey, I'm doing Facebook ads, hey, I'm doing the YouTube ads. And people are confused and they don't want to start learning the Facebook ads. They're business owners. So it's basically giving them like a rundown, right? Like a table of contents we can kind of show, but it gives them a
Yeah.
rundown from A to beginning, right? What is the digital marketing from SEO to Facebook through YouTube, paid marketing, when to do it. So it gives them a really, summary in 100 and something pages what they should know about digital marketing to make the proper decisions, right? Expanding and spending more money in digital world. So the way when they're calling agency like us, they're not like clueless, right? Like, hey, you know, and we are adding right now. Zeke is helping me. Zeke can talk more about that in another some podcast, but he's helping me with the checklist. He's helping me like, how do you start the business, right? What do you need to do? How do you do the business plan? How do you, do the marketing strategy? How do you market? How do you budget your marketing? And stuff like that nature. All will be like a infographics with a PDF checklists for the business owners to easily download and kind of see what a book is about. And then we are preparing another edition of the book. As you know, you're part of the team. You joined recently. Um, it's going to be a not just how to basics, but it's going to be more like a textbook, right? With like giving you examples, giving you more data, more like uh, extensive educational digital marketing that we would like to be part of education right now, because we are very concerned about all the students and high school, elementary, everyone. They don't have enough digital content that they want, and I think this is something they're very interested. Our internship is at scale right now. We have 7 interns that are ready to start on a matter of phone call, 3 of them without pay, right? That's has never happened before. It's fun, I mean, no complaints. If we can help, we want to help, right? But we need to make sure those are helpful to us and they don't overwhelm us, because we get overwhelmed, then our customers, they are like, not enough time is spent on my account. So we have to always supervise that. There is always, enough account time spent on customers' accounts so they can grow.
Gotcha. Well, no, it's interesting because you mentioned something in there about not coming into the meeting clueless. So my next question was, I know you offering these consultations now, and the idea is like, okay, you're someone, your time is very important, business owner, time is important too. So when someone schedules one of these consultations, what should they expect in the consultation, and what should they come into a consultation with you with? What should they come in mind with?
Yes, as you know, is always important for anything what it is, even for a doctor's visit, to be ready with your questions, attorney's visit, be ready with your story or whatever you have going on. So it's always important, right, to be ready. It's a very good question. For marketing is like, be ready, right? Like understand what your goals are. What do you want to achieve with the marketing, right? Why do you go to the digital marketing agency? What is the goal behind it? Do you want to have the best looking logo on the planet? Do you want to have the nicest looking website on the internet? Do you want to have Da Vinci painting, or do you want to have something that works, generates money, and makes you, on a $10,000 spend in marketing, makes you $25,000 revenue? So that means being ready. You come to the company and you say, hey, I can spend $10,000 in marketing if I make $25,000 back. I can spend $100,000 in marketing if you can make $250,000 back. But if you can't do that and you start working with a digital marketing agency, there is a question for us too: do we want to work with you or not, right? Because if you are like a low baller and you're testing your business and you're not sure if you want to do it or not, it's not worth our resources to be spending and trying to find solutions for somebody that doesn't even pay our digital marketing packages. That start at $1,900 a month, then there is no way for us to be able to help them the way they need to be helped, right? We can do the SEO, we can do the web maintenance, we can do those nature, or maybe Google ads for them, one aspect or a couple Legos of this digital marketing, but we cannot do 10 Legos for $600 a month. That's just not possible.
Okay, no, that makes perfect sense. And speaking of ways that people can help themselves to be better prepared, what's something that someone can do right now, today, as soon as they finish listening to our podcast, to help their own business?
So that's you got ready for this interview, right? So I'm very impressed how um, look, right now is it's like the book, right? To be or not to be,
Mhm.
from a very good author, the book that we all have to read in high school. So I think we're the same and the same question right now. We are, as a
Okay.
business owners, are we gonna survive, right? And that's not a battle that's gonna last a week or a month. That's just in somebody's mind, but that's a battle of the next year or two, right?
Hmm.
Do you have a team? Do you have resources? Do you have projections? Do you have budgets, right? Are you financially able to go through it? Are you willing to spend the money needed? Because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very difficult. Transformations are very important, but it's going to take months and months and months to recover as a business owners.
Hmm.
Specifically, if you shut down the restaurant, you're only doing the online delivery, right? If you're doing online deliveries right now, that means when you open the door, you have the chef there, you have you have some personnel there. You don't have to now hire 25 people overnight, right?
Hmm.
But if you've been closed, let's say for 2 months, you're gonna reopen. First, you need to start with the cleaning lady, right? Then you need to start with like a COVID-19 disinfection people. Then you have to
Hmm.
start with a health inspector because you haven't been open, right? What then you have to test all of your staff for this and that. So there's a lot of things you need to do, and if you are kind of like not working right now, then you have to understand you are living based on somebody else's gasoline, right? Not your own gasoline. So somebody else is working on behalf of you, and we can just look at the data. You don't even have to listen to anyone. You can just look at the data. You have 160 million people in United States of America that are able to work, right? Right
Hmm.
now, we know that in the last 5 weeks, close to 30 million people don't have jobs, right?
True.
That's 20% of a workforce. That's 20% of workforce is not working right now. That means close to 20% of a small business owners already shut down in the
Mm.
first 5 weeks. I mean, if you can run your business without, like this little bit of a shakeup, then you're being in catastrophe right now, and you have to decide which route you want to go. But just waiting uh, back to normal that people are saying, that's a fairy tale. That doesn't exist. That's not such a thing as back to normal. It's back to new normal. But when is right now? Like, how long do we know how long we're gonna live? I mean, if
Right.
I'm gonna live another 50 years, okay, but I'm gonna live another 6 months. That's for me new normal right now, believe it or not, right? So,
Hmm.
people just don't get it, right? They don't get it because they have to feel it, and they have to feel it for a little bit, and some people have to feel it for a long period of time to realize that we are in a new normal, right? I
Hmm.
had a birthday, for example, as you know, this past Sunday. I
Hmm.
turned, a nice age, not 40 yet, but right there behind the
Yeah.
corner. And for those days you think about it, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I have a birthday day in a new normal. That's a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it. So business owners have to decide, are they going to fight? Excuse me.
Hmm.
And if they're going to fight, right, that was just a cough.
Right.
No temperature, no nothing. And if they're
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to
Yeah. I
cough,
know.
I mean, if they're going to fight, they have to be on a long run. Okay?
Mm.
Don't be saying, yes, I'll do it this month, but next month I might change my mind. I don't really know if I'm going to do it or not. Like, okay, so you're going to the war with with an enemy, and you're like, hey, let's fight for 1 month, people. But next month, you know what? Let's just give up. That's a worst thing to do. And anybody who is thinking that way, let me give you the advice. Do not do it that way. Let your people go right away. Do not be sucking them and prolonging them in a longer and longer period, because you're not doing a favor to anyone. You're hurting
Mm.
yourself, and you're also hurting your staff.
Mm.
So, as billionaire said, they laid off 48,000 people. He made them a favor because he laid them off fast enough, so they got unemployment on time, right? They didn't have to
Hmm.
be 3 or 4 days on the phone lines to get unemployment. They're already
Right.
getting someone already getting unemployment checks, right? He already
Hmm.
seen it, he predicted it, and he staged it. So many people, so many times. So
Hmm.
that's my advice. If you're gonna fight, and you are in this world as we all are, then be there to the end. And whatever end it is, a month, a year, 10 years, 100 years, it just doesn't matter. Just be there, fight for your business, fight for your people, right? And work, transform, be ready, ask question, consult, read, right? Look at the videos, tutorials, you know, think about it. People still have to eat. People still have to live. People still have to entertain themselves, right? Those are still necessities. So if they're not, doing one thing, they might be doing another thing right now, right? So, you know,
No,
that's
that
my
makes
opinion.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So back to you, Greg.
No, that covers it for me. That I if you're going to try and run your business, do more than try. Actually do it. Put everything into it. No, that makes perfect sense. That's really the kind of mindset and determination that somebody's going to need to carry them through this thing. I think you said it very well. Well, that's what I had for the main event. Thank you, Danny, for your time. That
You're
was
welcome.
genuinely
You're
inspiring.
welcome. Thank
I
you
like
for
that.
having me. I mean, I would pass word to Ezekiel as well. I mean, Ezekiel,
Yeah, I was about to. Yeah.
he is also account executive, just as myself. He would
Mhm.
be just as good, almost as good as me, to be honest, answering this question. I mean, Zeke, you see it. Some businesses, they're fighting for a month and they're like, hey, I gave up, I'm closing down. And you're like, why would you close it down right now? Like, if you mean to close it down, you should close it down on the March 15th when everybody close it down, Not like
Hmm.
April 10th or April 17th or April 27th or May 2nd, you know what I mean? Why putting your people now to these phone lines and, not just to the phone lines, people don't understand the unemployment process itself, it's a front line, then is a dispute, then is a rebuttal, then is a phone call, there's a whole 9 yard. It's like a month and a
Mhm.
half, 2 months before you see a check. And now in this COVID-19 could be, for some people, most likely months or not years to get checks, while dead people are getting stimulus checks. But enough of that. Zeke, tell Greg and answer this question as yourself, as the business owners. If they are fighting, let them fight to the end, right? You don't go to the war halfway and tell your soldiers, hey, let's walk home right now. You know what? We're just going to give up because, we are outnumbered or something. But you predict that like a month in advance. You know what? We're gonna fight. We're gonna go attack those people only for 1 month, and then we're gonna run away. Come on, that's not motivating people.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, yeah, I mean, there was some disheartening stuff that I heard maybe on the phone, and I mean, although we're all together really busy and we're putting our best foot forward for everybody we're working with. A lot of people really are staying above water and they're really fighting. Then there's some people where it was a little disheartening where they might say that, I mean, they just got done making some, investments in digital assets that are probably going to pay off, 1, 2, 3, 4 years down the line. And then this thing came around and it was like, oh, I decided to sell all my equipment. And then
Mm.
this was like a kind of like in the construction industry, a contractor.
Okay.
Um, I
Yes,
was
I
like,
mean,
well,
I
that's a
say
little hasty.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
You
and I
made these
say
investments. Yeah.
correct, correct. And
Yeah.
I say here, I mean, Zeke knows, and look, I'll let you guys close this podcast, but this podcast itself, I mean, look at this. This is going to be listened with hundreds of thousands of businesses around the nation or the globe about this podcast. And they're going to be thinking, yeah, I mean, I get free shopping ads. I get a Facebook grants. I get this and that. I mean, I'm learning so much what I can get. Everybody's trying to help me, right? Everybody is giving me the like armor, right? And arms and, guns and tanks and equipment to help battle this, whatever invisible enemy, virus or whatever, right? To transform my business. Why not, you know, go with it. I mean, what else are you gonna do? It's not like you have some Airbnb booking and some private island to go to. That's just my opinion, 2 cents. But thank you guys for having me. I love you to both of you. Our
Thanks for joining
password
again.
to Greg, the interview for today. Thank
Mhm.
you. Appreciate your time. And I will be attending the next meeting right now with our client, The Interactive. they're waiting for us.
Okay.
Yeah, denteractive.com, teledentistry. You guys should check it
Oh,
out. You can
yeah.
get it on the iOS store.
That's a very useful business about now, wanting to get telehealth, not having to
Teletherapy,
go. Yeah.
teledentistry. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's real dentists, and they give you like some diagnosis, or they refer you to somebody they know that's going to get you covered based on your insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great one. Well, this covers it for me. I'm good, Zeke, for
All
this
right. Yeah.
podcast. Unless you got something else, man.
I
And
think this came up pretty good. I mean, we'll be
yes.
doing another one as a team here.
Hmm.
And I know last time it was pretty crowded, but this time it's kind of like the extreme opposite. We did a little one-on-one here, so it was
Hmm.
nice to chime in. I know it was your guys' thing, but yeah,
Always
we'll
glad to
get to it.
have you, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, it's always fun doing this. So yeah,
Hmm.
glad to have this together. And then yeah, so for everyone in podcast land, we're I'm Zeke and Greg
Hmm.
Benevent and Danny Starr right here. That was a great interview. Um, check us out, websitedepot.com. Check out our podcast section, or also look us up, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify. You'll find us there. Just check us out.
All right.